especially welcome the FCC Chairman and the Commissioners to our hearing today. And thank you for your thoughtful testimony and the time that each of you took to meet individually with me to discuss process reform ideas that could improve the transparency and accountability of the Federal Communications Commission. As I told the Chairman, and as I think I've shared with each Commissioner, and as Ms. Eshoo and I have discussed and agreed as late as I think it was yesterday or the day before, a discussion about reforming process is not and should not become an exercise in partisanship or serve as a cloak to attack present or past commissions or present or past commissioners. That's not what we're about here. As I'm sure everyone will notice, we have only 4 witness chairs filled today. In light of Commissioner Baker's announcement Wednesday, I'd like to thank her for her many years of public service, not only as a commissioner, but also in helping us complete the DTV transition while she was serving as the head of the NTIA. It was no small undertaking, and she has done good service to the country, and I wish her well in her new role. Turning to today's topic, it is our responsibility to review how independent agencies to whom we have delegated authority and over which we have jurisdiction conduct the public's business. At times, the FCC succumbed to practices under both Democratic and Republican chairmen that weaken decision-making and jeopardize public confidence. While Chairman Janikowski and some of his predecessors have taken steps to improve process, we've all witnessed how process and procedures from one chairman can change dramatically under another. One FCC is open and transparent, the next can be closed and dysfunctional. So the time is ripe to codify best practices to ensure consistency from issue to issue and commission to commission. Many of my colleagues on this subcommittee have worked on reform ideas in the past, and some have proposed changes in bill form today. We will consider those as well. Now, to kick things off, here are 7 items to think about. First, the FCC could be required to start new rulemaking proceedings with a notice of inquiry rather than a notice of proposed rulemaking. An NPRM presumes that regulation is needed. The FCC could first examine the state of the relevant markets, services, and technologies. Even when regulation may be appropriate, the FCC is unlikely to craft as useful a proposal without first gathering preliminary information. Here's another idea. The FCC does not always publish the text of proposed rules for public comment before adopting final rules. Providing specific text will allow for more constructive input and a better end product. Crafting proposed rules should not be difficult if there's genuine need, and the FCC has started with a notice of inquiry. Third, finite timelines for resolution of matters would be helpful. Parties and the public should have some sense of when resolution will come. Fourth, the FCC now makes information available about which draft items are circulating before the commissioners. The FCC could be required to provide additional information, such as a list of all unfinished items at the Commission, the date the items were initiated, their current status, and expected date of completion. A report card, if you will. Fifth, a bipartisan majority of commissioners other than the chairman, could be allowed to initiate items to prevent a chairman from stopping consensus items. Sixth, the President's memorandum for the heads of executive departments and agencies, quote, regulatory flexibility, small business, and job creation, close quote, requires executive agencies to conduct cost-benefit analyses before adopting regulations. The memorandum does not apply, however, to independent agencies like the FCC. We can remedy that by requiring the FCC to identify actual consumer harm and conduct economic, market, and cost-benefit analyses before adopting any regulation. Seventh, the FCC's transaction review standards are vague and susceptible to abuse. Parties with a pending transaction should not feel pressure to accept voluntary, quote-unquote, conditions on the deal or to curtail their advocacy in other proceedings. These concerns are neither new nor of concern to only one party. Indeed, my good friend from Michigan, the Chairman Emeritus, Mr. Dingell, observed in a March 2000 hearing that there is, and I quote Mr. Dingell, great need to address and reform the way the FCC handles its merger reviews. These are a remarkable exercise in arrogance, and the behavior of the Commission, oftentimes by reason of delay and other matters, approaches what might well be defined as not just arrogance, but extortion, close quote, from Mr. Dingell. So the concerns of Mr. Dingell raised then have been borne out with increasing frequency over the last decade. To address this, the FCC could be prohibited from adopting any conditions unless they're narrowly tailored to any transaction-specific harm. To prevent the FCC from using transactions to commence industry-wide changes it could not otherwise adopt, the FCC could be required to show statutory authority for the conditions outside the transaction review provisions of the Act. These suggestions are simply meant as a conversation starter. I look forward to additional suggestions from my colleagues on the subcommittee, the full committee, and from the public and the commissioners themselves and the chairman. And on that note, I yield back the balance of my time and would recognize the ranking